So the reason why we do this has nothing to do with making sense. It has everything to do with transnational and giant capitalism. Not about making sense. Archer Daniels Midland. Archer Daniels Midland doesn't even rank. Archer Daniels Midland is about 8th. You got Cargill, you got ConAgra, you got 2 or 3 other companies in the top, and Archer Daniels Midland's way down here. They get plastered a lot in the press because the oil companies want to see them go down because they're one of the biggest alcohol producers in the United States. They produce about 1/3 of the alcohol in the United States. Archer Daniels Midland runs their plant, their soybean plant, 3 months a year, processing nothing but organic soybeans. And they also run their corn plant several months a year, processing nothing but organic corn, not letting a single GM kernel into the door. Okay, so that Archer Daniels Midland has, you know, I'm not going to say they're good guys. They're corporate bastards like the best, but they're doing some very interesting things, you know, with their company that are looking at the organic market as something that they will serve and not fight against. They say, hey, we can make money there too, we're going to do it. You know, they pay farmers 20 cents more a bushel than all the other companies for their corn because of their alcohol fuel production facility. So, you know, I'm not a shill for Archer Daniels Midland, but being inside the business, I see certain companies doing things better than others, and they're actually a little better. I'll tell you something that leads into the rest of this. Archer Daniels Midland operates 10 acres of greenhouses. Now, what they're doing with these greenhouses is pretty big scale, but all of it scales down to the farm scale. They have 5 acres of lettuce production, lettuce and cucumber production. And it's completely pesticide-free. The way they do it is that they are taking the carbon dioxide from the fermentation facility and they're putting it into the greenhouse, and they're getting a full-size head of lettuce in 30 days. Because plants are limited in their growth by the amount of CO2 in the air. And in a greenhouse, you can enrich the air with CO2. And of course, if you enrich it enough periodically, what can't live there? The bugs. So it's organic pest control. And during the periods where they don't want that to happen, they have a whole IPM program using two insects that they go ahead and control all the bugs in the greenhouses. They use no pesticides. They don't label it as organic because they're not, all their fertilizer isn't organic. So they do this on 10 acres, and quite frankly, in some years, they make more money in these greenhouses than they do from their entire high fructose corn syrup plant. Because they're doing 50,000 heads a month of lettuce. They get 55 cucumbers, English cucumbers, per plant in this enriched environment. So the carbon dioxide, you know, can be put to use when it's captured and not diffused into the air. And we can do that even on the small scale in a small greenhouse on a farm and make pretty good money with it. The other thing they do is they take the byproduct, the dried distiller's grains, and they raise tilapia with it. Now the tilapia, what's really interesting, fish, you get we said earlier, cattle, it's 10 pounds of food to 1 pound of meat. Fish, because they don't have a skeleton and have to fight gravity, 2 pounds of feed makes 1 pound of meat. So ecologically, fish are much better using this feed. And get this, Archer Daniels Midland delivers those fish live to restaurants all over the East Coast in tank trucks running on biodiesel. So what I'm trying to say is that they're not such a great corporation, but ecological thinking, because it makes economic sense, is infiltrating even Archer Daniels Midland. So you're seeing a little bit about the interaction between how alcohol can really change agriculture in a lot of ways that would go the way we want it to go. We haven't talked about, and we got to move on from that. I could talk about that all day, being an ex-farmer. But let's go on to some of the other subjects. We've talked about food versus fuel. Obviously, that's obviously a non-issue because we actually get more food, the way that system is now than we would otherwise get. Cellulose.